I'm Aaron Cezar of the Delfina Foundation in London. The Delfina Foundation was set up in 2007 to facilitate artistic exchange between artists around the world. Our programs are largely thematic, so we look at different issues around the politics of food, the public domain, or even disciplines like performance. We bring together artists, curators, writers, in residence around these particular themes to develop ideas, new commissions, and also other kinds of public platforms for their work as well. In 2014, we had an expansion of our space, our physical space. I'm in London. We nearly doubled in size in terms of being able to host up to 50 artists or curators in residence a year. And now we see our expansion being more in regards to the thematic and curatorial themes that we take on and how we employ kind of the arts within a wider context of society. Often when people say that they're multidisciplinary, they often mean within different art forms, and we're very interested in thinking about science, economics, health, in relation to art. So I think our kind of future trajectory will be increasingly to look more wider at the role of kind of the arts alongside other disciplines, and how creative thinking as a whole can be a way of re-envisioning the world and addressing some of the problems of the world. I think one of the unique qualities that we have as a foundation is that we are a truly residential residency space. We're not a residency program attached to a museum or a gallery. We're very much kind of dedicated to the notion of hospitality. And so within our space in London, artists live, work, produce ideas, they cook together. And I think that makes the kind of engagement that we have with them as an institution very different and very kind of unique. There are other foundations in London, there are other kind of residency spaces kind of even in London. I think kind of, again, what also makes us different too is the thematic focuses that we take on board. So we invite artists to come and think together around a certain idea. And we invite artists from all over the world to do this, not a very specific region, but what we really try and do is take a specific question or idea and challenge it. To listen a lot. I think before starting any new initiative, I think one must really kind of go out into the world and talk about this idea to different people. If it's an art foundation, then certainly talk to artists, talk to curators, talk to collectors, talk to funders, and also think about yourself within the scope of your work. I think that's what's really important. At Delfina Foundation, the notion of family kind of really stands out to us, because we think of all of our staff as well as being very integral to how the artists develop their work. And so I think with any kind of foundation, any personal initiative, one has to kind of think about their personal aspirations and how they're going to grow and develop alongside it. But more importantly, it's trying to think about what kind of needs you're addressing. We don't need another foundation just to have another foundation, but we need a foundation that can do something that is unique. Because otherwise, maybe instead of setting up a new foundation, one should just be supporting foundations that already exist, rather than trying to duplicate kind of aspects. So I think I would encourage people to listen a lot, because understanding why you do something and understanding why you're doing it and for whom you're doing it for are really important kind of questions to tackle before you set something up. Delfina Foundation is largely privately supported, so we have one main patron, Delfina Internationales, who supports about 45% of our budget. The rest is through private individuals and also through public funding, so through Arts Council England for certain projects, through the British Council for certain kinds of projects, other diplomatic organizations. But largely we work with individuals, and I think it's really interesting to engage with collectors and patrons, because collectors and patrons are very interesting agents, let's say, in the art world, in the sense that they access different parts of our ecosystem of the arts, from the non-profit side to the for-profit, the market side. I think collectors and patrons are important advocates kind of for the arts. I also think working with them, it could be a more direct relationship rather than working with a big foundation or a very big trust. And so I think that the major problems that we have kind of around kind of arts funding can kind of be really addressed by supporting more philanthropy and more philanthropy endeavors, and also encouraging people more to to think more widely around the art object. Because often people just place a lot of interest in the object itself, but not in what went into the production of that object. And so therefore, that's why I think patrons and collectors can be more kind of powerful in terms of supporting the whole ecosystem around it. I think the future of the arts kind of really lies in how we push away the borders that have divided our ecosystem of profit, non-profit, institution, grassroots, commercial gallery. I think what we've learned from the most recent economic downfall, and also what we learned from looking at current politics, is that we need kind of new models within the arts world. And I think what that model is a hybrid of all those things I've mentioned, where you don't necessarily have institutions doing one thing, but doing several things. But there's a danger to that as well, because when you're doing one thing, you do one thing really well. When you're doing many things, you do many things really badly. So I think getting the mix of the amount of activities that an institution will take on is really important. I think increasingly, doing one thing is probably not going to be the future of the arts world, because of technology, because of economics, because of politics, and also because of evolution, in a sense that things are becoming more hybrid in the world. The division between public and private space has melted away because of technology, for example. And in the art world itself, which is very much kind of like driven by new ideas and by technology, the same will happen.